Good morning, everyone. Today is exciting because we're meeting with Mike Daser, the founder and principal consultant at Hearth HR. Thank you so much for being with us, Mike. It's a pleasure to have you. And I was wondering if you can begin by telling us a little bit about yourself, your background, and your role at Hearth HR.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. It's an absolute pleasure to be here and chatting with you and all your listeners today. I A little bit about me. I've been working in HR for 15 plus years now. I started working. One of my first roles was actually with Target Canada. I helped bring the business to Canada, helped open one of the first stores, and unfortunately closed one of the last stores in Canada as well. And through there, I've had a progressive HR career working for some of Canada's largest manufacturers. And about 5 years ago, I thought I would try it on my own and began HR consulting. And recently this year, decided to go out really on my own and found my own consulting company, Hearth HR. And it's been a really, really incredible journey. Really meeting incredible people along the way. A little bit about me outside of work. Outside of work, I love to travel. I have twin children, and I absolutely just love connecting with people and learning more about their stories, and what brings them to where they are today.
Thank you so much. A fellow Canadian.
A fellow
Nice.
Canadian to in downtown Toronto doesn't get much more Canadian than that, right?
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about Hearth HR, its values, and its mission?
Yeah, it's really been founded on people first. I've spent a lot of time in HR consulting now the last 5 years, and a lot of companies will try and sell you on empty promises. They'll try and sell you on flashy words and just things you don't need. For me, HR consulting is about the people. It's about how you make an impact on the business, how you make an impact on the people you meet with every day, and how you give them real, tangible solutions. And for me, that is what I try and accomplish in everything I do. You come across a lot of companies now that try and do cookie cutter things, especially with the age of AI. And the beauty of what I do is I do everything from scratch. No two projects, no two companies are the same. And I approach everything I do with that same mission and heart and mind.
Nice. I love it. We need people like you in the world. And also, it just keeps everything unique and it must make work interesting, right?
Oh, it does. I've met some incredible people along the way.
Yeah, for sure. Now we want to hear about any of your products. What do you deliver to your customers, Mike?
Yeah, so everything is built from scratch. Everything, so whether it's a project-based handbook, whether it's contracts, whether it's something as simple as that, all the way up to fractional HR services. So what happens is we would come in and we would act as the company's HR leader. Um, could be anything from helping with admin tasks all the way up to strategic leadership. Everything from half a day a week to a few days a week, depending on the needs of the business. Offering virtual services as well as on-site services, depending on the need. And the real goal of the whole process is there are a lot of companies out there that need HR support, but they don't need the expense of a full-time hire. And that's where fractional HR has really taken off the last few years. It is a need. Laws are changing every day, every week, every month, whether it's the Employment Standards Act in Canada, whether it's the Occupational Health and Safety Act in the US, whether it's a combination of the two, it doesn't really matter. But as a small business owner, one of the best things you can do is stay compliant with all of that. And one of the things I do is I operate cross borders as well, with experience in Canada, the US, and overseas as well. Having worked with projects in South Africa, the Philippines, the UK, I've really done it all. And it all comes back to staying compliant and building winning teams.
Wow, stellar. Congratulations with
Thank you.
being a startup and having had that much experience. Great. Would you be able to tell us a story, Mike, about how you've delivered these services to a client? And you don't necessarily have to go into details about the name of the company, but to give our listeners an idea of the value that you've provided?
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite stories is actually from a few months ago. I got connected with a local coffee shop in Vancouver Island. Um, for me, Vancouver Island is actually one of those places that is always near and dear to my heart. Having grown up in Vancouver myself, I can picture the small town coffee shop that I grew up with familiarity. I was talking to this business owner, and she said to me she was so frustrated. Everyone was trying to sell her on HR subscription services. They were trying to sell her thousands upon thousands of dollars in investment that she just didn't have and she just didn't need at this time. So for me, her and I got connected, spoke with her. Very simple. She needed a handbook and she needed contracts. Very simple. That's all she needed for her business in that moment. She was stressed. She was panicking. I need to get this done. Nobody wants to do it for me. They wanna build me a robust HR system that I'm not ready for. So one of the things I was able to do is just sit there and listen, and sometimes that's the best thing. That's the best thing you can do. And interestingly enough, she actually reached out to me last week and asked for more items to be done because she was so impressed with the work that was done originally. And that's how I build my business, and that's how I build business, period. I don't believe in selling things people don't need.
Mhm.
It's as simple as that. There's no point in trying to upsell. There's no point in trying to push something that just doesn't make sense. And for me, it's all about the relationships, and that's key and point of the relationship right there. I came in, did a great job on a project. Never expected to hear from this person again, but lo and behold, a few weeks ago, I hear back because of that relationship that was built originally.
Absolutely. Beautiful story. Thank you so much for that. What are the major shifts that you're seeing in your industry right now, Mike?
HR is really, really, really at an incredible tipping point. Um, with AI, with ChatGPT,
Mm,
individuals have access to so much information. But
mm,
if you don't know how to decipher that information, it's a problem. I come across businesses who will go to ChatGPT and ask them to create a contract. ChatGPT creates them a contract for their business. I take one look at it and it's not even close to compliant. I take a look at handbooks, policies. ChatGPT is spitting out these things faster than I can count. There's huge value in AI, but you still need the human touch to be able to decipher what is fact, what is fiction. A lot of the times, the answers you get from these services are very, very black and white. And something I've learned throughout my whole career, HR is the exact opposite of black and white. HR is color. HR is vibrant, but you also need to be able to understand, again, like I said, what is fact, what is fiction, and what is real. Um, the other thing I'm seeing a huge shift in, and you see it every fall leading into the new year, is policies, procedures, new legislation. As a fellow Canadian, I'm sure you're very familiar that January 1st and July 1st are the two big days when new legislation comes into effect. And we're butting up against January 1st, and there's a whole slew of new legislation coming out, as simple as job postings in Ontario now needing um, salary information on them, information if you're screening with AI, and it all comes back to AI. So there you go.
Wow, that is true. It's so much to think about. Um, I was wondering, Mike, like some of those things may pose you some difficulties, and I was thinking of things like the types of services that you deliver, which tend to be unique, rather than your colleagues or peers, which
Yeah.
offer sort of bigger services that companies may not need. Um, so, in keeping these trends in mind, um, has this shifted anything or impacted your growth strategy at all?
It really hasn't impacted the growth strategy that I'm looking for 2026 and beyond. There will always be large consulting firms, large HR firms out there, and they serve a purpose. They are able to come in and they are able to deliver speed. They're able to deliver something in a cookie cutter fashion, and they're able to build those relationships that a lot of organizations may need.
Mhm.
But at the heart of it, you're not going to win with those cookie cutter strategies. And for me, every company is unique, and you can't approach every company the same way, and that's how I plan to win in 2026 and beyond.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's what makes you different
Yeah.
anyways, right? So
Yeah, it's
great.
it's it, it's interesting. I spend a lot of time dealing with benefits brokers and spend a lot of time in the benefits space. It's a secret passion of mine, and for me, I've discovered there's two types of benefit brokers out there. There's the large companies that are there. They provide a great service, and then you've got those smaller um, brokerage firms which deliver more of a personalized service, right? And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm delivering that personalized service.
Hmm.
And as far as I'm concerned, there's space for both of us in the world.
Absolutely. Great. Um, so with all of this, where do you see yourself in 6 months to a year from now, Mike? Do you see yourself growing into a bigger team, or will you always be a one-man operation?
Oh no, for me, it's actually very interesting timing that we're recording this podcast, because I can't let the cat out of the bag yet.
Yeah.
But Hearth HR is actually going to be entering into a strategic partnership in the new
Oh,
year with another HR firm. So the growth plans are already in place, and hopefully by the time the listeners hear this podcast, some more details will be released. But definitely, the goal for 2026 is to expand
wow.
the reach into the US and further overseas. So yeah, so we've just entered into a strategic partnership that will be going live soon with another HR consulting firm. So the growth plans are already in place.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very interesting timing, and
Yes.
like I said, nothing we haven't dropped the announcement yet, but I hope the listeners get a chance to see that when it comes out very soon.
Yes. And is there anything else that Hearth HR is focused on in terms of growth?
As far as growth, really focused on cross-border operations. This is
Mm,
where there's a lot of friction right now, and there's not a lot of HR consulting firms that are able to deliver that. You'll find there's firms that will focus in Canada, there's firms that will focus in the US, but there's
mm,
not a lot of firms that can do both. For me, I've spent the majority of my career supporting North American teams. So what's unique about Hearth HR is we bring Canadian expertise, but I can take that hat off in an instant and go deal with a U.S. benefits broker, talk 401k, talk anything and everything U.S. employment law as well. So for me,
wow.
I spent a lot of time working in Florida, working in Texas, working in California, which we all know can be its own animal when it comes to employment law, New Jersey, New York. So for me, it's really a differentiator as we enter
Mm,
2026 is being able to support small businesses that have teams on both sides of the border.
so awesome. That's very impressive. And um, just to end things off, do you have anything you would like to tell our listeners?
Anything to tell the listeners? I think for me, it's about doing right by people.
Yeah,
I think
your values.
it's about values. I think one of the best things you can do as an organization is have those values, and live those values. We see a lot of organizations these days that aren't living their values anymore. And for me, it all comes back to people. People are the heart of the business.
Mhm.
And I'm a firm believer that if you invest in your people, your business will thrive. And that to me is the most important thing any business can do.
Yes, that's so right. Um, I want to thank you so much for coming on our show. It was an honor speaking with you, and I want to wish you personally best of luck in your new partnership
Thank you so much.
that's coming up into 2026. And I want to let everyone know that if you want to speak to Mike Daser, or want to reach him for one reason or another, he's available through hearth-hr.com. That's his website.
Yeah,
Or you could reach him through his LinkedIn profile, and that's the easiest way to reach him.
I would love
So
to
thank
connect and have a conversation with anyone who would love to have a conversation. I love meeting people and having conversations.
so awesome. Thank you, Mike. It was a pleasure meeting you and having you here.
And thank you so much for having me. This was a fantastic time. Thank you so much.
Have a very nice day.
You too.